is going on? You're listening to episode 207 of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh, and I got a very special guest, the Nintendo Guru. That's right. The Nintendo Guru. What's up, man?
What is up, buddy? How you doing?
Good. If you guys are only listening, he's the biggest Angels fan ever, according to his hat.
Oh, you know what?
Just...
I got my Yankees hat right there. That's the team. I got the red because it's red, and I have my red mic. It all just part of the plan. Don't stop. If I could get a Nintendo logo over here, I would do it.
Right. I see somebody saying "Go Phillies." You know they have red also.
F the Phillies.
Whoa, so harsh.
And I'm like literally 20 minutes, 30 minutes from Citizens Bank Park. I hate the Phillies. I can't stand Bryce Harper. I don't like Phillies fans. They're horrible. They're terrible. It's ridiculous.
Well, we are off to a start. So, real quick, I'll give you guys a little preview what happened. Mr. YouTube here puts a video up saying he's not excited about Super Mario Maker. So I figured, hey, this might be a good time to get somebody who's really excited about Mario Maker and somebody who's not, and we're going to talk it out. Okay. But before we do, guys, the music you heard a while back, because we've been talking now, was from On Being Human. You can check them out on Spotify and YouTube. Remember, this is an unofficial Nintendo podcast, and if you'd like to get yourself a free book from Audible, go to audibletrial.com/NPC. Pick up something awesome like Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. The chair I'm sitting in from OP Seat. Go to n64josh.com/OP Seat to automatically save $10 at checkout. And, guys, my book, Another Castle, is available on Amazon as a paperback and on Kindle, and hopefully soon on Audible. Go to n64josh.com/anothercastle to pick it up. And that's worldwide. It ships worldwide. So if you want the paperback, not just the States, it's worldwide. I've been getting tweets from the UK, from Canada. It's super cool. So thank you guys if you picked it up. I really do appreciate it. And with that, we'll jump to the announcements.
Hey, listen.
All right, we're going to go through these quick, but there are a few things I want to let you guys know about. First off, I'm heading to E3, and I've had a handful of people say, hey, how can I help? And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to run a promotion on my store. If you go to n64josh.com/store and use coupon code E32019, you save 10% on all the merchandise, and it can also help me out with E3. I've got, mainly just at this point, I just have to cover food for the most part. I've got my room, I got my flight, all that stuff. So, and I'm sitting pretty good. I've been saving, but I've had a few people ask how can they help? Well, get yourself a shirt. That'd be great.
So, good stuff.
The Mario project still happening, guys. If you're interested, you can head on over to n64josh.com/the Mario Project. You will be submitting your stories to me about getting your first Nintendo, the games that helped you get through things, whatever it is. The details are on the site there, and I'm going to get these things onto Amazon in paperback and on Kindle and probably on Audible. That's the goal here. So there's going to be a number of these. I'm hoping to have the first one ready to go by July 1st. So don't wait. Get your story submitted as quick as possible. You can email the link to your Google Doc. That's going to be the easiest way to do it. info@n64josh.com. Okay, if you want to know when I'm streaming, n64josh.com/calendar. It's got all the dates, all the times, everything there. And lastly, I want to mention before the show instead of after, because some people, I know how podcasts go. Some people shut them off after the little outro never gets heard. So we got a Facebook group. I want to invite you to it. n64josh.com/Facebook group. A lot of good people in there talking Nintendo. It's good stuff. We keep the toxicity on the, it's just not a part of it. We'll just toss it. So come and be positive. And then we have the Discord as well, n64josh.com/Discord. We'd love to have you come hang out. And there's the Reddit as well, n64josh.com/r. So there you go. There's some good places to connect. With that, we're going to jump on over to the news. Okay, I've really thought this was important to bring up, because even just mentioning it to the guru here was like, hey, Tetris 99 has a Game Boy theme that can be unlocked by hitting 100 points. Now, I didn't find this out until last night on Instagram when I posted a picture and somebody said, oh, I'm terrible at this, but I finally unlocked the theme. And I was like, oh, I assumed this was just like exclusive for the what is it, the maximum cup or whatever they're calling it, the Maxis Cup, the third one or whatever. But no, if you hit 100 points while playing this weekend only, you can use that theme. And I got to tell you, that theme was like, not only is it cool seeing the Game Boy colors and everything, you know, the colors, right? But the sounds of hearing, like when you get a Tetris, or when you end up, like if you lose or whatever, it's all there. And I absolutely love hearing it. And so for me, this was a must. This was a must. I'm like, I have to have this for this game. I don't play the game all that much, but this had to happen. I had to have this. So
I don't blame you.
You what?
I said I don't blame you.
Oh yeah, right. I mean,
I want it, but I'm like, I'm not that good at the game. How long is it going to take me to get 100 points?
So they show you the breakdown. Like, I think when you open the game up, or you can find a photo online. I have an article on n64josh.com if you want to see, but Shell Shock in chat, he said it took about an hour. I got pretty lucky, and I hit 6th place on one of my runs, and that was worth 20 points. Dude,
I think the best I got was 13th.
Yeah, so I think you're still looking at like 10 or something like that, you know. So it goes pretty quick, and if you end up going out early, you still get, I think you get points for, like, even if it's only 1 point, whatever. But like, I probably played it for about an hour. I'm guessing.
Okay, that works for me, man. I'll give it a roll.
But this is Saturday, guys, that we're recording this. You have until the 19th, which is Sunday. So if you're here live, make sure to play it. Right, I'm gonna have this. Hopefully, you hear this before the work week on Monday, and you don't end up missing out. But yeah, spend a good hour or so with Tetris. Even if you're bad, just, I don't know. It's worth it to me.
It's worth it.
It was worth it. I mean, did you play the Tetris a lot as a kid back on the Game Boy?
That thing was amazing. Who didn't? Like, if you bought a Game Boy, a brick Game Boy, you had to play it. It came with it, number one. But number two, it was like, man, it was the be all end all. I remember when the game first came out, and I was like, and I got my brick Game Boy, and I was like, I don't want this game Tetris. I want Super Mario World. And then I got Tetris, and I was like, oh my god, this game is amazing. It's just so good. And it just hooked me in. I remember me and my buddy used to have like the cables.
Yep.
And would hook up and play each other, and he would smoke me every time. I used to get so mad. I was like, I'm not playing no more. I'm not playing you no more.
Were you Mario or Luigi?
Oh, you could do that. That was a thing, wasn't it?
Oh, I didn't care much about the game until my uncle handed me the second Game Boy plugged in, and I was like, oh, this is there's Mario here. Like,
I would have been Mario most of the time, because I always plugged in first and then handed him the thing. So if memory serves correct, I would have been Mario most of the time.
Yeah. There you go. So I mean, that it's. I've been a sucker for Mario ever since I was like, 8 years old, 7 years old. Like, the Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. Oh, there's Mario stuff. I'll play again. They want you in. They know how to get you. It gets me every time. And so, speaking of Mario, we're gonna get into our main talking point here, which is Super Mario Maker 2. Here we go. All right. So, a few weeks ago, last week maybe, you had a video out saying you weren't all that excited about
Monday. Monday, I put a video up.
Okay.
Well, depending on when people are listening to this, but Monday, I put the video up and just said I'm not excited for Mario Maker, and this is why. And I just broke down all my reasons why.
So, if anybody hasn't seen the video, what are some of the reasons why?
So it's real simple. I feel like, number one, the search process was trash on it. The don't move levels were garbage, and they are all at the top of the ranks. Like, you could rank these levels, and it seemed like those levels, accompanied by troll levels, were the ones that you would always find when you searched. So it was frustrating for me because I couldn't find. It wasn't easy to find good levels. And by the time they put that website together, I was already out. And I was like, I'm done. I'm moved on already at this point. But I think I put like 60 plus hours into it and then just dropped off and left. I love the concept, but the problem that I found was there's just people think they're good level designers and they're not. You know what I mean? And if you lose a little bit with it. A couple other things was I didn't like the fact of there's really no worlds. Like it would have been nice if they let people make worlds. That way, when you get a one-up in a level, it means something. When you get a coin, you get 100 coins, it means something. Like you're accruing these one-ups and stuff, and it means absolutely nothing. And when you would play the worlds that they would link you in, like it might mean something on that end. But like if I just play a one-off level, it just meant nothing to me to get a one-up or to even to get a power-up. Like if you were struggling, let's say there was a Bowser at the end, you could just absolutely sacrifice your power-up to run through him to get to the end because it didn't matter. There's no reward at the end of, when you play a typical Mario game, you want to try to get through him at full strength. So this way you could take on the next levels full strength going on. So I feel like there was some disconnect in some of that. And those were the major things for me. And I just felt like, okay, we're getting Mario Maker, but we really don't know a lot. Like, how are we building levels? Because I felt like building levels on the Wii U was perfect. You had the gamepad in your hand, you use a stylus, you draw it up, you do what you want to do, and then you click a button, you go play the levels live right then. So there was a handful of things that I felt were hurting Mario Maker, and I was very curious to see what Nintendo came back with. Now, and I also list in that video, because it's just not a negative video, it's basically like, these are my issues with it. This is what Nintendo needs to do to get me hyped up. So, I want Super Mario Bros. 2. Like, I want Super Mario Bros. 2 skins. Like, that would be unbelievable for me. And not just, I was talking to maybe Justin Masson this week from Nintendo Dads, and I was saying, like, man, if you play as a Super Mario Bros. 2 skin, and rather than Bowser, there's Wart. You know what I mean? Like, you would put Wart in the spot instead of Bowser. And then if you switch that level that you made from Super Mario Bros. 2 to 3, Wart would turn into Bowser. Like, just leave Wart and all those enemies exclusive to that skin. Because they do have some things that are exclusive to the skins. I just feel like there's so much that they could do to make it better. So we'll start with that. So I did do what I wasn't happy with, and then what they could do to get me over the hump and get me back on board.
So real quick on that, we see with 3D World that it is a separate style from 1-3 World and New, right? Those four you can switch between, but World's on its own.
Yeah.
Right. And I saw some people, I think Andre from Game Explain said he was disappointed that it didn't have, you couldn't switch between. I look at it as a great opportunity because you now have the chance, and I have articles, I have a bunch of articles about Mario Maker on n64josh.com, guys, if you want to go check them out. But the thing that I wrote was like, this now, like you see 3D World and there's another spot next to it that's open. Yes. Okay. So to me, that's like Super Mario Brothers 2. That's Super Mario Galaxy.
Yeah.
That's Odyssey. Could you imagine having Cappy even just in 2D?
Yeah.
The potential there to be able to throw Cappy and jump off, like that could be super fun.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
64 even, just the graphical style, like, but still doing the 2D stuff. I think there's a ton of potential that gets me excited. I understand like wanting to see like 8-bit Cat Mario, right?
Yeah.
Or
but for me, I don't want that. You know what I mean? Like, I get that, but I don't understand what. Like, I like that there's exclusivity behind it. Like, this is basically for this, and this is all you get it on. I like that because I'll tell you what I would love to see is to give us the ability to make the stuff that they did with Odyssey when you would play them 8-bit levels in Odyssey. you could give me a game just based on that, and I would have a blast. Because I felt like they were kind of like the Captain Toad levels, in World. Like you would go through and then you would run into the Captain Toad. It was kind of like a chilled, laid back thing, but just fun. And I would have a blast if they would let us make those levels in in Mario Maker.
So, just to kind of flesh it out a little bit, the ability to throw Cappy, jump off of him, the ability to throw Cappy on enemies and then take them over, and the ability to jump into 8-bit.
Yeah.
Halfway through or in the middle of a I'm on board.
That'd be amazing.
I'm on board with that. So I think there's still I think they've actually held stuff back, which is good because Smash, there was no surprises.
No, they just unloaded on us.
And it was I love, like, they didn't even mention, I don't think, and I could be wrong, I need to watch it again, but I don't think they mentioned the ice flower or really even showed it off, except for I guess Walmart somewhere, I don't remember where, they leaked a advertisement that showed it. But then during the multiplayer sections on in the Direct, you see a Toad that has the color of a Toad that picks up the ice flower. And so there's still things they're throwing out little secrets, little hints, that kind of stuff, but they aren't just like spilling the beans completely on this. And so I think there's not only the potential for another, and I'm hopeful that there's a free style, right? That we see another style, Mario 2, whatever it is. But then there's also the potential for DLC, and that really seems to be Nintendo's MO with some of their games. I'm still looking at you, Mario Party. We need some DLC. We need online, right? Like, get that game where it should be for 2019 or 2018 even. But so I think there's a lot of potential. My question for you: you posted this video Monday. Tuesday we get the announcement that there's a Direct. Wednesday's there a Direct. Would you make the same video tomorrow or this Monday after seeing the Direct?
No, because I feel like they answered and addressed some of my down points. Not all of them. You know what I mean? Like if you go back and you watch my video, I had more. I can't remember all off the top of my head, but I had a few more, but at the end of the day, I wanted to have the ability to make a world. I wanted the ability to go deeper, and for me to go like, okay, this is my 1-1, this is my 1-2, my 1-3, my 1-4, so I could create a progression and a storyline per se. But they gave me enough that I went. So I was when I made that video, I was about 40% on buying it. Now I'm at like 60, and I am going to buy it. And also some of the amazing, I'm sure we'll get into it, but the amazing deals that they're putting along with this, I'm in. So, but the search was a huge one. And now that they're allowing me to just go, hey, I just want to play Super Mario Bros. 3 levels, and just put that in as a search engine, and it just brings them up. Right. That's got me sold, because that is something that wasn't in the first one. Right. And it drove me bonkers because I don't, I just want to play this type of level. Why can't I just play this level? So I'm pretty excited for it.
What, and I think it's important to talk about this. What are you still disappointed with? And there's a handful of things that I was really hoping we'd see that we didn't. So what?
Well, so number one, they didn't really truly say how we build the levels. I think it's just assuming we're going to do it in handheld mode, but I think we also would do the TV with the pointer, and I'm not a fan of that. So I know in Europe, I think they're getting, if they pre-order, they get a stylus. So it makes me think that maybe that's the way it's going to be. But I feel like, so they didn't really tell us that, and they didn't flush that out for us so much. Some things that are probably still is, I still want to make a world. I still want to have the ability to make worlds. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's something that's missing from it. Because that's something that I would do on my own. And I felt like, okay, I'm uploading these levels, and there's a progression to them, but nobody's ever going to see the other levels. The other thing I thought was, what I would like to do is, but I know it's very difficult, tricky, if I could upload levels via the Wii U like if they could create a patch, so I could just because again that gamepad was so simple. Or even if they could just be like, hey, you can connect the gamepad to your Switch. You know, like if there was a way to connect the two, and that would be your thing to make it. Or
So-
if the phone,
So I've been preaching this since the Switch came out, and Eric has been saying I want Mario Maker like since the Switch came out, and I'm like, oh, just allow us to use the 3DS or the 2DS as a controller to make levels.
that's true too.
You have your stylus.
I think that's true as well. You know, the other thing too, but again, there was so much that they brought that I think the things that are holding me back, it's just because I know that Mario Maker 1, we got inundated with some garbage levels. You know what I mean? So it's what's holding me back a little bit from being super excited. But I feel like there's enough there that once I get it in my hands, it'll lift that worry and that doubt. I'm trusting Nintendo enough, and I trust them enough to go, hey, you're giving me 100 levels that you're making. You're giving me this whole brand new campaign. The online stuff is fantastic. It's basically Runbow, is what I was saying in the live stream. It reminds me so much of Runbow.
Yeah.
So I'm in, man. I'm definitely gonna buy it. And not only that, like, it's worth it for me to buy because I feel like here's the thing I look at. Bobby, the Nintendo guru, is buying this. Bobby Pauls, the everyday guy, might have held off on this. And the reason why I say that is, for me, this gives me content. Being able to stream this online and have people giving me levels and playing them and stuff on stream, it gives me content. Mm-hmm. So it's a no-brainer. I feel like I have to buy it. But the person that just an average Joe, I would still be skeptical. But I trust Nintendo enough that I feel like they're going to give us the content we need to make me happy when it's all said and done.
I think this is going to be the Switch's most successful game on Twitch. I think the community is going to. I think this game is going to blow Smash Bros out of the water. Because that unfortunately that game did not have a very long tail when it came to streaming, anyways.
Yeah.
Right. And so. Whereas there's still times that you can go in and see Mario Maker at the highest Nintendo game in the directory, right? Yeah. It's still not as high as I would like to see it, but you know, it's still there. And the potential is like, yeah, you can play viewer levels, you could get really good at the game and play the expert levels, you know, that kind of stuff, super expert.
I'm sorry. I think what has me really excited, though, is the fact that I know that more people own a Switch than a Wii U. Mm-hmm. And what I'm hoping is I know there's a lot of intelligent people and really great gamers that didn't own a Wii U, but own a Switch. And I'm hoping that those people can get in and make some creative stuff and make some creative levels. And I'm interested in trying that stuff and seeing how it works. I would love to see Nintendo do a tutorial video of sorts and kind of teach people. These are the do's and the don'ts of creating levels. But I also think that they don't want to do that because they just don't want people to know the inside workings of what they do. But it would be, you know, I was reading something about a level designer. I think the one thing that happens, and people got to understand this, when you're building the level and you're going through, you run through and you know where all the enemies are going to drop. You know what's going on. So it feels easy to you. So the knee-jerk reaction is to add more enemies to make it harder for you. But then by the time the end result, the end person gets it, it's super hard for them because they don't know where enemies are coming and they don't know what's going on, and it's very difficult for them. So I was reading this thing, and this guy said, that's why you need someone to test your level first and watch them. And that's when I was married at the time, what I used to do is I used to make the level and then hand her and say, hey, can you play this level for me and tell me what you think? And she would play it and I would just watch her and I would see where she was struggling and where she was flying through. And where she was struggling, I would ease it up a little bit, and where she was flying through, I would toughen it up a little bit. And it seemed and felt like it made better levels for me. So that would be a suggestion I would tell people. Like, if you're going to make levels, have someone else beta test your level. Have your kids or someone just hand them and say, try this and tell me what you think. Is it too hard for you? Is it easy? And then watch them play it. And then you can make the adjustments on the fly and fix it. But I think that's a huge thing.
Real quick from the chat, Super Nintendo says, I feel like this is a no-brainer for the average Joe. There's so much for people who play games casually. And I think there is a lot of content there. I think what could be the deal breaker or the kind of the make or break is going to be how levels are designed, how easy it is to create without a stylus or, with the controller. Yeah. And I don't think Nintendo would put this out if they weren't confident in the ability to create with the controller, or, and then of course with the touchscreen. One of the things they did with the first Mario Maker, and I'm holding this up if you guys are only listening, but they put out a little book with the first game that kind of just showcased like some ideas and examples of how to create different things and maybe what makes certain things more fun or less fun, and examples of like, hey, there's a wall here that's too tall to jump over, so you could place a spring, you could place a flying Koopa, you could put a Koopa on top of a thwomp, or you could place some bullet bills that you have to jump off of, right? Mm-hmm. And so here's what I've done, because I've actually kind of done what you mentioned is, and I'm not a game designer by any means, but I've had so many people tell me, I'm not a creative person. I'm not going to create levels. They're not going to be good. Right. And so I put up an article giving some tips for creating levels and kind of just break it down. And if you think about classic Mario levels, right? I mean, I've pretty much played them all. Is they break down into sections, right? It's like, especially like the first level of Super Mario Brothers, it teaches you when you run into that Goomba, it kills you. Okay, so I either need to jump over it. What happens if I jump on it? Then there's a power up. Oh, now I'm big, right? If you can kind of get that mindset where you're like you're teaching the player as they progress through your level, like maybe you have 3 turtles that you have to jump on, but then you get to a section where if you don't jump on those 3 turtles, you're going to fall in a hole or whatever, right? That kind of stuff. And so I'll put a link to the post in the show notes here, but like a lot of it is just breaking it down to the simplest problem, right? If that's how you want to look at it with me here, you have your opening section. Then you have a section that maybe it ramps up in difficulty a little bit. Then you have a third section that maybe is a bunch of coins or a power up, kind of rewards the player for getting through that section. Then maybe if you find the hidden star or something like that, and you can run through like run on spikes or something that's like, you can't do it unless you have the power up. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to. I think what happens is a lot of people think like they have to create like these intricate, like super difficult, and it's like, no, think about the Mario games. Like they're designed to be able to get through them and to have these little rewarding moments through them. I don't think we really think about that as the player. We just are like, okay, let's get to the end result. But I mean, I even mentioned in the post, like, go back and play Mario 1 and Mario 3 on the Switch, Nintendo Switch Online, where you have them, and just kind of look at the way the levels are created. Look at where the power-ups are. Why do you think it was placed there? Coins, like you said, they meant something, so that was almost like a way to kind of reward players, or something that was like, oh, I want to collect these. And that's the hard thing without I think if they allowed us to create worlds and they allowed you to progress in the game exactly like you would in a Mario game, you would see that people would be more apt to make sure to save their power-ups and things like that. I don't know how you get around that with the different style. You'd almost have to say, I'm only creating a Mario 3 world, so that you have the raccoon tail at the end of World 1-2, and you start with it in 1-3. Whereas if you switch styles, well, does he have the cape if you're going into World? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's another hurdle they'd have to cross. I know they could, but and who knows? Maybe future DLC or something like that down the road.
The one thing I want to address that Chris is saying here, though, is I feel like it's a no-brainer for an average Joe. There's so much content for people who play games casually. There is, but again, in my mindset, when I said all this was all pre seeing the Direct. Mm-hmm. After the Direct, it's moved the needle way up. Pre-Direct, I'm going off of what I know from the Wii U version, and it was super frustrating. So unless they fixed the things that were super frustrating, I feel like as an average gamer, I wouldn't have bought this game, because that's just me knowing what one was. Mm-hmm. That's not saying that other people wouldn't have. I think the game's going to be super successful regardless of whether I bought it or not. I think that the hype levels are very high on this game, and people are super excited for this game. I'm not trying to act like, oh, this is a garbage. I'm not saying that at all. This is just one of those things that, like, hey, you're happy. This is Monday, Bobby talking. Hey, you're happy to have it? Congratulations. I'm very happy that you're having it. I'm not going to begrudge you of that. This is just why I'm not happy for it. If Nintendo fixes this, and this, I'll be hyped. Fast forward to Wednesday, they fixed this, and this, and they raised my hype levels. I feel like what will push me over the edge is June 8th when they have that tournament. When they have that tournament, I'm going to get wrapped up watching that. And if they have John Numbers there playing again, I'm going to lose my mind, because that kid's like Rain Man when it comes to Mario Maker.
Right.
Like, to watch him dissect those levels and fly through, unbelievable. So I think that, by the time this game launches, I'll be where I need to be. But at this point, I'm buying it. There's no doubt about it, And by the way, that's something too, like the fact that you can buy the game and they're going to stack, for me, someone that already owns Nintendo Online, they're going to stack another year on top of it. Dude, that's unbelievable. So I'm getting a year of online for $10. It's a no-brainer, man. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't buy that. The only thing I think where Nintendo's making a mistake is that's a digital-only thing. They should have put a code in every single one that goes physically and just sell it for $10 extra.
Yeah, if you have the family plan, though, I don't think it works.
Oh, I'm not worried about you guys.
Yeah, I know. So one of the things that I think will help your frustration is the fact, instead of just a like button, there's a boo button. Like, you can actually boo levels that are bad.
Didn't notice that. Really?
So it's essentially a downvote.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, it's like a purple...
Because then everybody's going to downvote my stuff, and then I'm not going to be able...
It's like a purple broken heart or whatever, and then the like is the red heart or whatever. So
that's good. That's good.
So I don't think your non-move levels are going to go away. I don't think that's going to happen. I think people love those.
Well, but there was a thing that you could turn off auto scroll levels.
Oh, yes.
And so that's the thing. Like, they fixed that, in my mind. Now,
the question I have is, what happens? Does that filter kick in when you do the 100 Mario challenge, or are those still random levels based on whatever comes your way?
I don't know, man. Because that was the frustrating thing. I would be like working through, and I get like 3 of those in a row. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, I want to enjoy. I want to struggle a little bit. I want to have fun. I want to go through this little quasi mini world that they made. And then you get 3 of them in a row, and it's like, well, here's a no-brainer for me. Like, these aren't going to be, that's where my frustrations got to me, and I was just like, this makes no sense for me having at this point. And I stopped after, like I said, I played for like 60 hours. I walked away. Then I got my buddy Paul Lloyd, who has a YouTube channel. Paul Lloyd, go check him out. That's all he does is Mario Maker content. Guy's got like over 2,000 hours. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, you're nuts. But does great stuff.
Right. Super Nintendo is saying, just for the record, you can buy Super Mario Maker 2 plus 12 months of online physical.
Chris, who has that? Because I looked around for it and I didn't see it anywhere. Because I would buy the physical edition of this, for just to have it with my Mario Maker 1. GameStop has. Okay, well, there you go. I'll go check out GameStop.
So here's my frustration right now, is the fact that everybody but the U.S. is getting a special edition with the Steelbook and the stylus. There's
ridiculous, dude.
As of right now, anyway, as of recording this, the little, like, I wanted to make sure I was accurate. There are no pre-order bonuses or anything anywhere.
Nothing.
Nobody has anything.
It's Don't get me started there, because I've had about enough of this. I've had about enough of this not getting anything at all. Like Nintendo Europe, Nintendo UK, dude, they get amazing stuff every single time, every single game. They got stuff for Yoshi. They got a book bag or something, a backpack for Yoshi, and it's like we get nothing here, and it makes no sense whatsoever. But Fire Emblem, we get special editions of every single Fire Emblem that comes out. But something like this, like seriously, why would you not even put that book you just showed in it?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like when I bought Mario Maker 1, I got the book, I got an amiibo. Like what are we talking about here? You know, I don't understand why I don't understand what their mindset is with these. Like they should do something special with this. Absolutely. That's the other thing that they didn't talk about that I'm very curious about. Is there amiibo functionality?
That's a good question.
Because, dude, that was amazing. And what I would like to do is not just lock it behind Mario 1. If they do amiibo, let them open up to every single game. Because that was, that was a little disappointing. I was thinking I was going to be able to pay like the Inklings on a new level. But I just got them an 8-bit.
Right. Well, and Nightcrawler's thinking the same thing I am. Best Buy likes to get these steelbooks and then release them like 2 months after the fact.
And charge you $50.
Right. Well, unless your Best Buy takes care of you like mine does. They did the return for a game that was like 6 months old or whatever.
But they only do that for a short period of time. They won't let you do it for all time. They only give you like a couple of days of when them steelbooks come out, and then that's it. Because Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee, they did that same thing. And my buddy went over there, and the computer systems were messed up, and he had to wait, and he had to go back. And I'm like, I'm not messing with this. And then I went back later, and they were like, nah, that was just for one day that we did it. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, man.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not paying you $50 for a steelbook. You're crazy.
Right. And I mean, and that may be what happens, but like, again, this is like you were saying, like for this game, it doesn't make sense. Like if they packaged the right stuff, I would pay $100 for a Mario Maker game. If it had, the great thing about the first Mario Maker is it was the 30th anniversary of Mario. So I have a poster behind me that showcases all the games in the last 30 years. It's awesome. Like that kind of stuff. I mean, you're not going to find that anywhere else, right? Like
nope.
that was like, okay, I guess for sure I'm getting it at GameStop because I definitely want that poster, Yeah.
They even put out if you remember, they put out the Wii U. They had the Walmart exclusive Wii U that had the modern, because people are freaking out because the modern 8-bit Mario amiibo at that time it was the only place you could get it, and people were like, I'm not spending $300 on a Wii U in order to get this amiibo.
Right.
And then eventually they put it out of the package, but people were losing their minds. But like they did a special edition Wii U for this thing. Not that they changed the color to anything different, but like they put it out, had a yellow box, it had all that stuff. They got to do something.
I honestly thought this would be a game that would justify a special edition Switch. I made a rendition of a Switch with like bright yellow Joy-Cons and like I'm really shocked, and I'm wondering, maybe is this a sign that there is a new SKU coming out and they
possible
maybe they don't want to upset the consumer and be like, hey, here you go, here's the here's the Mario Maker Switch, which is the old model, and then a week later here comes the new one. Like
even like, could you, man, I would lose my mind to get like the Builder Overalls Mario amiibo, like him, like the one that they have with the yellow hard hat and all that stuff. Like, give me an amiibo like that. Like, right. I don't understand.
Yes,
that would be unbelievable. But like Nightcrawler saying, this could be all E3 stuff announcements. I feel like during that event, they're gonna unload some stuff. I think without a doubt, they're saving stuff to just wow people during that event. I guarantee you, they're gonna unload. You cannot tell me that they showed us everything in that game during that direct.
Guess who flies into E3 on the 9th, not the 8th?
Poor you. Poor you. Yeah, but you know what? You won't be able to go to the event, but so what? So you have to be able to watch it on TV.
Right.
Or on the computer.
I was just like, are you serious? They're starting it a day early. I got everything. Oh well. So, but yeah, it is there. I really wanted a Mario Maker amiibo, like you said, with the, I mean, look, he's in Smash, right? Like,
Yeah.
he put that amiibo out. Like, we got a Detective Pikachu amiibo, yet we don't.
Here's the thing. Here's the travesty. I'm sitting here looking at you, and I'm looking at this stupid Super Smash Brothers special edition console you have behind you for Switch with the black and the gray etchings and the stupid Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
They do that for that game, which, don't get me wrong, it's the biggest game ever. I get it. But like a game like Mario Maker, that it's your bread and butter character. Why in the world do you not do something special edition for him? If they would have put out a yellow Switch, I would have been buying another Switch. No doubt about it.
So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what there's got to be some answers that we get down the road. There's the potential that this holiday we see a Mario Maker bundle, right? Like they wait.
Possible, yeah.
But again, like, don't they? I mean, that's a system that would sell. Like, I would probably try to get another Switch just to have a Mario Maker Switch, right? Like, and then anybody that's been holding out, that, because I mean, there is a decent community around that game still. So
there's a huge community about it. I mean, it was so much so, Josh, that they went and created their own website because they were tired of Nintendo not giving them the one they wanted. Right. And that's where, if you really if that stuff would have come earlier, I probably would have stuck around, but I had already left. And you can literally go in and do further searches, but I'm like, do I really want to go to a third-party website to do a search for a game? This is nonsense. But the community is strong for that game.
Right.
Then people love that game. So without a doubt, I think they could do some crazy stuff with it.
Yeah, and I mean, the only thing that's weird is I know a lot of people have already said oh, I've already pre-ordered. Oh, I've already done the digital. If they announce the special edition at the event and people already have the digital pre-ordered, I imagine there's going to be some consumers that are a little frustrated by that.
Would you really care? You could always just cancel, or unless you got it digitally.
That's what I'm saying. If you wanted that other stuff,
But you know what though? Let's be fair. Let's be honest about it. If I bought this thing digitally, it doesn't matter. I could literally, if it comes with a digital code, I could sell it to somebody, or I can just give it away or do something with it. That game that you bought digitally is going to transfer with your account, so it'll go right onto your new Switch. I think the main thing is, can I get my hands on that Switch?
Yeah,
I don't care about the extras. I just want that yellow Switch.
Yeah,
give me a yellow Switch, right? Black analog sticks and red buttons, and we're in.
Yeah,
we're in.
That's it. The the thing is though, right? Because chat saying don't pre-order digital purchases, but they ended this direct with, hey, buy these vouchers to get 2 digital games for $20 off.
Yeah. But here's the thing. So let's break that down. Let's unpack that a little bit. Number one, you don't have to use it on Mario Maker. You could use it on any 2 games. Right?
Correct.
It doesn't have to be Mario Maker. 2, you have to be a Nintendo Online subscriber. That's the second caveat to it. It's not open up to just anybody.
True.
So the advantage is, when I look at this, I go, hey, I gave you money for this service. You're starting to get on board of what PlayStation does and what Xbox does, where they give a little something extra.
Well, they essentially just paid for your year, right?
Yeah,
they said, hey, $20 off of 2 games, that pays for your subscription.
Absolutely.
It's so
I'm
Nintendo.
Yeah.
They get in trouble in the 80s, and they give everybody a coupon.
Exactly. I'm buying it without a doubt. The vouchers, because I'm looking at like Astral Chain. I'll buy that. You know, maybe I'll get Animal Crossing. You know, I'm definitely buying digitally. Like, there's certain games to me that are no-brainer digital games. Mm-hmm. A game that's going to be where you're going to put it in a million times, you might as well just have it digital.
Yep.
And for me, Animal Crossing is one of those games.
Yep.
So I'm like, I'll buy it now, and when they announce Animal Crossing, boom, I'll pre-order it right away.
And the Switch that they announced with Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I'm going all in with that one. I'm going to buy the physical copy, the digital copy, Switches. They have Joy-Cons, Amiibo, whatever you give me. That day will be Merry Christmas Amiibo, Merry Christmas Animal Crossing Day for me. I will be all in on that one.
Oh, there's still plenty of Animal Crossing Amiibo out there for you in the wild.
No, trust me, I got one on the ground over here. I got what is it? Oh my god, the Amiibo Festival. I got that there.
Yeah,
it's embarrassment.
Yeah,
I buy it every time I see it in the store because I'm like, I'm gonna have a bunch of these because one day this thing's gonna be worth money, and I'm gonna be sitting on like $60,000 a copy, and I'm gonna be like, I got them all.
Only you. You.
Somebody got to do it.
Right.
Somebody got to be the idiot in the world. It might as well be me.
Right. So, kind of wrap this thing up here. I am super excited for Mario Maker. I think that the controls are going to be fine for creating levels. I can't wait, like you mentioned early on, I can't wait to play user levels. You know, on stream. I can't wait to run levels with viewers since we can do the racing now.
Oh, that's going to be the best.
Yeah, there's like, it's funny, and I don't want to come across like negative, but like, we don't expect to see online stuff when we really should, right? Like, I mean, you know, it's 2019. They have an online service. But I think there's plenty of people that were probably like, I can't believe this is actually a thing, you know? Like,
well, let's be fair. The 3DS version, there was no online with it.
Oh man, it's so bad.
Like, it was a terrible game. I don't even know why they put that thing out. So when you look at that and you go, hey, this is pretty awesome. I'm down with it, man. I like the fact of what got me excited was that building Peach's castle back up. I think that's fantastic.
Very cool.
I think that's cool. You unlock a bunch of stuff when you're doing it. And then the other thing too is I like the run thing. Like I said, it reminds me a lot of Rumbo. And I feel like that right there, because you dress up in your Mii. You're not a Mario. You dress up in your Mii costume and you run. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think that one's a good one.
So we need a Mario Maker Amiibo, a Toad Mario Maker Amiibo. Get them in the hat. Get Toadette, and get Luigi. Get all four of them. Right? Those are the four.
I just want Mario. I don't care about the rest. I'll buy them all if they put them all out there, but I don't have to have them all.
Toadette needs an amiibo, man. I want to see those plastic pigtails.
She don't have an amiibo, does she?
I don't think so.
No, she doesn't.
I don't
That's
think
crazy. How does she not have one?
Yeah, you know, I don't know.
I mean, Waluigi has one. Why can't she have one? Boo has one. Like, Boo has one.
The Goomba.
Piranha Plant has one. Poor Toadette.
One day.
Yeah,
but I gotta say, I love seeing her 8-bit pigtails. Right? Like,
yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I thought it was great. I mean, so many right choices with this game. I feel like there was a ton of fan service. I feel like there was a lot of stuff that the community asked for with the first one, and they went cold on the first one. Right? They just it was like last update, boom, done. We're not doing anything, and the community was like, hey, wait a minute, you know. But I feel like they've really listened. I feel like they went above my expectations, honestly, because like I said, I didn't expect to see any online play as much as I wanted it. Yeah. One thing I should point out, and I retweeted somebody that said this. There is a chance that you could use a second Switch to create levels if you have two, because you may have to use the Player 2 Joy-Con. Mm-hmm. Right? It may have to be on that Switch, but I did see somebody saying that you could possibly have one docked and then be creating on a
That'd be
second
cool.
Switch.
That'd be cool.
You know, that's
Well,
an
the other thing, too,
investment,
is-
but
So let's hit a couple things that we obviously missed. The ability for two people to create at the same time is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
That could be some fun.
or frustration, depending on who you're playing with. Anybody playing with me will be like, "This is not fun. This is the opposite of fun."
The other thing too is they added stuff that's not in any other game and put it in there, like them hooks that grab you, them claws. That's not in any other Mario game.
Right.
So they were adding stuff that like is in no Mario game at all, and that's the stuff. When I started seeing that stuff, I'm like, oh, they're going all in here.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is pretty cool. So I feel like they put a nice little package together for us. I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, it feels, or it seems like it's more than a port, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
Which, I mean, it had the potential of being, I mean, because, you know, you look at some of the other games that have come out, Splatoon 2 and things like that, and then they start throwing all the old Splatoon 1 stuff into Splatoon 2, and it's like, okay, so is this a sequel or is it just a port? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they, the blocks that turn off and on, right? The snake blocks, the stuff they're doing with 3D World, the clear pipes and things like it's there, like you said at the beginning, like there's so much content here. Like there's so much that we can, the playing viewer levels, doing, just messing with those clear pipes. Like there's going to be so much messing with the Cat Mario, being able to run up the walls and things like it changes the game quite a bit. And I do believe that we're going to see one more style that unlocks as we play the game. So,
I agree. Man, it's just. I think we'll probably see a couple styles. If I'm being honest, we'll probably see one style now, pre-launch. But I think by the time this is done, I think this is a game that's going to get heavily supported with DLC down the line. I feel like 6 months from now they'll be putting out a pack, whether it's free update or whether it's actually like you pay $10 and we're going to give you all this stuff. It'd be crazy for Nintendo not to dive in and really lean into it.
I'm with you, and I think they will. I mean, they've made the statement that they want, they want to offer games as a service. I think they're going to get behind it. Again, I'm still confused why certain games get more love than others. Aces still gets tons of love, still gets a new character all the time, right?
Blows me away.
Mario Kart gets Labo, which okay, and then then you've got Super Mario Party that's just sitting there like, hey, I could be really good,
Yeah,
I'm loaded with potential. If you would just update me and give me more
they
content.
dropped the ball on that one, boy. I was really excited for that when they first announced it, and then they just literally dropped it on its head. It was just like.
It's unfortunate. It's better than most Mario parties they've put out in the past few years. But still just kind of fell short, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, it's good to know that the Nintendo Guru is now 60% excited.
60% excited, yes.
About Mario Maker 2.
Hopefully come at E3 I'll be 100%. We'll see.
Yeah, I think that's where
I think listen, if they can convince Super Nintendo to hand deliver me the game and give me a hug, then I think I'll be 110% excited for this game.
Okay, well, we'll have to.
There it is. There it is, Chris. You know your mission now, Chris. Let's go.
All right. Okay. Well, hey, let's wrap this thing up here. The Nintendo Guru. Where can people find you?
Oh God. The chat. Chris is anyway, okay. So you can find me on Twitter, on Instagram at Nintendo Gurus. You can check me out on nintendoguru.com, youtube.com/Nintendo Guru. I do so much stuff over there. Just look up Nintendo Guru wherever you can get podcasts. I have like, I don't know, 5, 10, I don't know. I'm there with Josh in terms of the amount of podcasts I'm creating. And then the final thing is we're new on Patreon, patreon.com/YouMeCapri. Capri. That's a new little thing that me and Sean Capri have started together, and I'm really, really excited about that and love all the support. Some of the people here that showed up are supporting us on it, and it's pretty awesome. So
Very cool, man. Very cool. Well, thanks again for taking the time.
No.
Like, I messaged you this morning, said, hey, you got any time to chat?
I told you before, dude. I will make time for you anytime.
There we go. There we go. And he did. So, guys, you can follow me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, all the places. It's at N64Josh. Guys, the show notes for this episode, n64josh.com/NPC207. Remember to check out the articles I got about Mario Maker. I really think, especially if you're one that's like on the fence or you don't really know about creating levels, go check out the article I put up. It's not like technical stuff. It's more of like the mindset going into it. So hopefully it will help you to be able to get some levels put out there and not be. Don't overthink it. Just have fun. Take it one step at a time, and I think you'll be able to create something awesome. If you want to email the show, npc@n64josh.com. Guys, you want to get yourself a free book from Audible, go to audibletrial.com/NPC. The chair I'm sitting in from OP Seat, go to n64josh.com/OP Seat. Automatically save $10 at checkout. If you want to get a t-shirt and save 10%, and all the money that's going to be made from these shirts is going to help me out with E3, go to n64josh.com/store and use coupon code E32019. You can save 10%. There's a ton of different shirts on there. Mario Kart shirts, different logos, some of the goofy stuff we've said while playing Splatoon, like Good Gom. Like there's all kinds of stuff there, so you can check it out. Come to the Discord, n64josh.com/Discord, Facebook group, n64josh.com/Facebook group. And guys, I just want to say thanks. Thanks for letting me take a week off. I know some of you were tweeting at me like, hey, my workday sucks right now. And I'm like, I'm sorry. It's just I was on vacation, but I'm trying to make it up to you. All right. So thanks for being patient with me. Thanks for listening week in and week out. Nintendo Guru, thanks, my friend. Guys, we will catch you later. Bye now.